Hi friends, my name is Matt, and you're watching The Truth. So, as you can see by the title of the video, this is part 2 to a story that I've been telling. And there were a few things I wanted to go back to. Around graduation, there was a lady that I was friends with who ran a secondhand store that I liked going to on a constant basis because I like secondhand stores. There weren't very many in that town. But I always talked with the lady who worked there, and she knew that after graduation, I didn't really have anywhere to go, anything to do to improve my situation or my life, because I was basically stuck there. I did end up going to live with my grandparents in Illinois, but that didn't produce much results. I ended up coming back anyway. But this lady was so nice. She took up a collection for me. I don't even remember how much it was. I think it was like $300 that she had collected for me from patrons of the store. And I don't even know. It was just such a nice thing for her to do, and I need to get back with her and thank her properly. I know that I've already done that, but I need to, rejoin a lot of the people that I've lost contact with, that I feel I owe so much to. Like my friend's mom and this lady who played such a great part in my story of getting free of the witnesses. And I just felt like that was an important part of the story too. And while I was living with my friend, I was still going to meetings. There was an elder who lived real close to my friend's house. It was out in the country. He lived real close to my friend's house, and he would give me rides to the meetings and out in field service. I thought that this was going to get me out of it, but not so easy. I still tried to see my friend from time to time. Anytime that he was in town. Anyway, my friend's mom found a place for me to go. It was in another neighboring town that was about 4 hours, 3 hours away. And the place was what you would call a halfway house for delinquents, which that was not what I was, but it was a multi-purpose place. It was also for like housing people who had nowhere to go, young people such as myself at the time, who have no other means of housing at the time to help them to gain some skills or get an education or do whatever they need to do to get out of there and into their own place. That's pretty much the purpose of the place. It was called Wings. Now, this place, oh my God. When I got there, everything was great. I liked the way everything was. I liked the leadership there. The owner of the place, the lady, was really nice. The staff there was really cool. And the other residents were pretty neat too. They took some getting used to, but they turned out to be nice guys. But then the residents started leaving for one reason or another. One got his own place. The other two just kind of took off. And the replacements were not great, shall we say. They were very mean kids. I call them kids. They were adults, but juveniles. They were definitely not mature, that's for sure. One of them liked to look for reasons to beat the crap out of me. I recall one time I was in my bed. I was going to sleep, and I saw him standing over me. And he started beating the shit out of me. So I kicked him in the head. And he gave it one last hit before leaving. I don't know if you can see that my nose isn't exactly straight. It's pretty crooked. That's because he broke my nose. And it never did get set right. But I hadn't been going to meetings as I was going to this place, which I thought was at least somewhat of a bonus. If it wasn't for that life, there would be pretty cool. And I'd be able to continue on and do what I needed to get out. But the other residents were making things increasingly hard on me. But I found out that one of the staff there, I don't know how they found out, but somehow they found out that I was a Jehovah's Witness. I was no longer attending meetings. I had no intention of attending meetings anymore. I thought I'd found my way out. But it turned out that one of the staff there was an inactive Jehovah's Witness. And somehow him finding out that I was a witness, was his motivation to get back to being a witness again. He started bringing me to meetings. There was another congregation that I didn't know anybody at. I didn't know a single person there except him and his family. I didn't go often, but anytime he came around and was like, "You want to ride to the meeting?" I'd be like, "Sure." And it got out amongst the other residents that I was by, because I'd gotten to talking about Freddie Mercury, because they were bad-mouthing gay people because a Queen song had come on, and I could not stand by and let that happen. And I told them that I was bi and I did not approve of that kind of behavior. And this got to the staff member who was a Jehovah's Witness, and he threatened me. He said, "You're going to go to the elders about this. And if you don't go to the elders, I will. I'll go to them for you." So I was pretty much up against a wall with this. I went to the meeting again. Went to one of the elders that I could find. Didn't know any of them. I didn't know anybody there still. And I said, "Can I talk to you before the meeting starts?" And he said, "Sure." So we went in the back room. There wasn't any other elders. It was just me and him. Which there's usually supposed to be at least more than one elder for a talk like this. But I said, came out like a confession. I said, I said, I'm exhibiting bisexual tendencies. I worded it just like that. Because that was the only way I could think to word it where it sounded like I didn't want it to happen that way. I liked my attraction to guys. I still do. But I had to play it up and make it sound like it was so abhorrent to me. I started crying. And he said, "Okay, well, let's go to the scriptures." And he gave me a few scriptures. He read one, and he asked me to read one. And he prayed for me. We prayed together. And, well, he prayed while I, bowed my head. Anyway, he said, "Okay, well, come to me if anything changes, if you have any urge to act upon these tendencies of yours, and we will schedule a meeting with more elders." And I was like, "Okay." Of course, I never went back to him, because I never went back to another meeting. That was my very last meeting. Never went to another one. But these guys at the Wings establishment, the residents, were getting rowdier. And I was stuck in a situation where I was being threatened with a machete. And I called the police. Went to a neighbor's house and called the police, which the owner of the place frowned upon. She said that she was not happy that I brought the police there, because it makes her establishment look bad to the neighbors. So she sent me away. She found a new place for me to go, which was more suited to me and my situation, and I felt like that was good. But first I had to go back home because there wasn't a spot for me yet. So I went home, back to my hometown, crashed on one of my friend's couches. They smoked a lot of weed. And I wish I had participated when I was still there. Because with my indoctrination, I still felt like it was a wrong thing for me to do, to smoke weed, even though all of my friends were in a garage doing it. And the temptation was there. But I just, still hung out though. Still drank. I drank with them. Generally had fun until it was time for me to go to the next place. And the next place was called The Next Door. And it was more of a place for career building than anything else. Like, I wouldn't say career building, more like just like building yourself as a person. I found a job and got out of there pretty quickly. I had one roommate, and he was really nice. I barely ever saw him. But it was a nice place. I liked it. I kind of wish I'd stayed there a little longer. I got to talking with someone online who I became romantically involved with. And they lived in Michigan. And they were married, of course, had kids. And I didn't mind that. I got into a poly relationship. And I moved over there. We all moved to Ohio. And I've generally been learning how to live as a normal person ever since. Having a normal life has been a real fun learning experience. And that's pretty much where I am today, except a few months ago when I was watching one of the YouTube channels that I liked watching called That Creepy Reading. It used to be a creepypasta channel, but now they cover other subjects. And the video was 22 insane children's shows for religious organizations, or 22 insane religious kids shows, something like that. And one of the guest speakers on that video went by the name of Telltale. And he was talking about Jehovah's Witnesses and a cartoon that they were producing called Caleb and Sophia, which I thought was incredibly weird because by this point it's 10 years later since I stopped going to meetings. And I'd never heard of Caleb and Sophia before. This was before JW Broadcasting. It was before a lot of the publications that they're using right now. It was before the Silver Sword. But, a few months ago, I discovered Telltale and started watching his videos and getting more and more sucked into this rabbit hole of XJW information and materials. And I started watching other channels like Jay the Comedian and Lloyd Evans and ones like that. And I started joining Facebook groups, and it's been an experience, and I'm really glad that I'm here now. And I'm glad that I'm able to get my story out onto YouTube so that people can hear it. I want to make more videos. I want to cover more subjects. I might go into other cults, but for the most part, I want to stick with Jehovah's Witness content. And if you notice that I don't look at the camera a lot, it's because I'm autistic. I have a hard time with eye contact. I guess that works the same way with cameras. That's why I have such a problem with public speaking. But I'm getting used to it. I've got a TikTok, and I've been making videos on there as well. It goes by the same name, The Truth, but it's got 1914 on it. I hope that my story has helped somebody. I don't know if it has, or if you just enjoyed hearing about my experiences with the Jehovah's Witnesses and getting out. I hope to see you comment. I would like to hear your thoughts. I'd like to have a conversation. And I guess that's it for now. Always tell the truth.